Alright. This might be a shorter stream. Feeling a little tired. Might not be able to get the 10 games off or 10 wins, but let's see if we can do at least 5. I estimate it's gonna be at least 6 more streams to Masters 1. Which I've been doing about, at this level, every 20 games. If I win all 20 of them, will become a promotion. Alright, still gonna do the same build order. I'm pretty much gonna try and do this build order until it just stops working. And every time, there's plenty of stuff I can adjust in it to hit faster timings. So as the opponents become more resilient to this build order, they'll make it as sharp as possible. I'd rather make the builder sharper than increasing like the level of micro or tactics. I think that's kind of where I want to be at, is like once we can like no longer optimize the build, then we'll bring like more higher level tactics and micro or APM into it. But perhaps I might just we might go down different compositions with the same build order, just different variations. See if different variations will take us more forward. Like maybe we go for like Colossi or like a DTs into our push. I think everything from our opponent looks good. So I'm gonna try to optimize the early game safety a little bit. So like bring this guy down, chrono boost this, add a shield battery, and then get the warp tech. Gonna optimize a little bit for early game safety. Just checking back and forth. Whenever I go over here, I'm mostly looking for how soon my probe is done, so that way I can keep one probe being built at a time. Right. So I'm checking like these buildings, looking at my stalker, looking at this, practicing looking at the mini map. I see like my probes are less than half done, so I can afford the robo without skipping it. We can hotkey that robo to 3. I queued up 2 more probes, so I can probably afford this Twilight. Then I get 100 more. We can now rotate our, a little bit of distance, so that way we don't get splash damage from any kind of banelings. Alright, queue up some more probes. I try and build up some money so I can drop our two building pylons. We can do this mostly with the robo build, just because the robo build hits a little bit slower than like a Twilight build. So we have, plenty of time, and it's more supply intensive early on due to the I think I just heard Nidus, so we were kind of want to make some shield batteries Right. Make some more shield batteries. See if we can make some more shield batteries. Keep warping in zealots. We can see he's slowly running out of larva, even though he may have the money. He doesn't have the larva. Continue the attack. So we've kind of outlasted him. That's kind of scary. So we'll start chrono boosting our probes. To try and, you know, keep up and catch up. Slowly add on some gateways in case, you know, there's more attack. We'll have more production to deal with it. We're getting our mineral income up higher first, and then we'll start getting our gas income up. Yeah, that was a pretty scary attack. Where's that at? That's over here. I'll make some shield batteries. This guy is a scary. The pain never ends. I wonder if he'll just eventually just kind of give up. But you can see I'm just maintaining my macro, you know, getting the shield batteries. Getting the shield batteries up. Two, three. I will admit I did turn up the skill a little bit during that one. I feel like maybe it was more worth it for you guys to kind of just see how to hold something like this. We got 2, 4, 6, 8. That was a pretty larva intensive attack. You know, I doubt he's got the production to keep up with us because we went up to our 8 gateways. You know, a little bit late on the 8 gateways, but oh damn, this guy went for all the memes. There we go. Good game. 100% he's gonna look at my profile, but 454. It made me go up about 10 APM. But that's what I'm talking about as far as like, you need to train yourself into making pylons and chill batteries. Like I heard the scream of the Nidus, and the first thing I did that game, I was like, uh-oh, I didn't even know where the Nidus was. But I knew I had to make Shamsil batteries. I put them in my main, which is a little bit, you know, risky because he could have Nidus'd my natural, but I would have built some of my natural too. And the ones in the main are not horrible. If you have to abandon your natural, you might be able to survive in your main. And any kind of build, like if you hear any kind of Nidus, you know for a fact that you have more workers. You know for a fact that you have more resource collection. Right? The one thing that I could have done better that game was also to drop a couple more gateways. But for like certain types of attacks, especially like the Master Lanes, you kind of just have to survive because eventually they're going to run out of larva or they're going to run out of money, and then like that initial or that the reinforcement lings are going to get smaller and smaller. And that's kind of what you saw, is he was unable to keep producing high amounts of lings, so we were able to survive and until our army was able to grow. So, I probably could have put some of my depths in some better spots, you know, and moved them around more shaded, but I wasn't sure if I should do that at the diamond level, you know. It's like, how hard should I try to survive? Still trying, you know. So hopefully that survival looked pretty imitatable for you guys. So there's definitely more stuff you can do, like try to put your adepts in here, but we didn't really need to do it too much. But that was a fun game. I like being cheesed. It's always so exciting. At least for me, it's exciting. I don't get why people hate being cheesed. Because the way StarCraft 2 is designed is that cheeses by definition, like cheeses, no cheese should ever win. Every cheese is holdable. So there isn't like a single cheese that a person can do to you that you can't defend, which is pretty fun. So once you kind of learn how to defend the cheese, like you're just pretty much, you know, unbeatable by it, unless you make a mistake. And then what makes it easy to defeat cheeses is the okay, we'll just delete this one. This is a free win. Just delete the free wins. PVZ win fast Nidus lane. Yeah. what makes beating cheeses technically easy is that usually they happen so fast. By definition, they're gonna happen fast. There's less variables for you to worry about, right? Um, like you have less buildings, you have less units. You know, there's just less things for you to worry about. Um, and there's less things for your opponent to have, so it makes scouting potentially a little easier. You know, like, something is weird. And if you are going to overreact a little bit to a cheese, you want to overreact and if you're going to overreact, you should always overreact in a way that allows you to punish the opponent if they don't cheese you or all in you or whatever it may be. So, like, so if you're opening up Stargate, right? You can, you should be up, you know, if you're gonna overreact by going Stargate, you should be able to get oracles out, right? And those oracles should be able to go across the map and do economic damage, and hopefully that economic damage and equalize the game, you know. And if they make mistakes, hopefully that economic damage can win the game, you know, or give you an advantage. Like if you're gonna go like double gateway before Nexus against Zerg, typically you want to open, you want to like chrono boost out to adepts. You know, you want to get adepts out as fast as possible to defend, and if they don't attack you or whatever, you want to send those adepts across the map to do like a really quick, faster than normal double adept harass, right? Because your Nexus is slower, so your macro is delayed. So how do you want to compensate for that? Like, you know, you got to go and interrupt their macro. You know, if you try to overreact with Robo, then you'll probably want to get out a Warp Prism really quickly and either go snipe Overlords or SCVs or, you know, probes. Be aggressive in that way. Maybe if you go Twilight, you know, you're gonna try and go into DTs to defend, but then you want to use those DTs for offense too, right? And then possibly follow up with a follow those DTs with like an Archon drop, right? So you want to think about like, you know, how can you make up for sacrifices that you've made to be safer, right? I guess I'm looking at probes, looking at mini maps, you know, just making sure my probes are being built. Make sure this probe is on its way out before I drop the Robo. So I want constant probe production. This guy comes out roughly at the time I make my Robo. We can rotate this guy away so there's no splash damage from any banelings that may be coming. Right. And the music is Lo-Fi Girl if you guys like it. It's nice and relaxing. This would probably technically be a pretty good map for like Nidus. Like this is a hard area to watch, right? Well, I guess it'd be like an easy map to drop the Nidus, but you know, if you're coming through here, it's maybe a bit easier for me to defend against the Nidus. You know, usually I can only drop 2, and we can make this guy hit that with a chrono boost. Need 2 more. Have that chrono boost. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to make these entries. As you go up the ladder, like making these entries as fast as possible is gonna be really important. Because like there's gonna be moments, not all the time, but there's gonna be moments where like every force field matters. And you having like a couple less force fields is gonna be like the reason you win or lose. And it may not seem obvious, right? It may not seem obvious. You might like lose and be like, man, fuck, this build sucks. Yeah, like I said, like, you know, sometimes small things are the reason you're winning and losing. Like, maybe if you had a couple extra force fields, you would not have lost, right? Maybe you scout a little bit faster with your Overseer or your Overlord. You know, you would have been ready for this attack. I don't even need to kill that that changeling that's in my base, you know, because what am I trying to hide from him? Really like nothing right now. I'll bring these reinforcements a little bit closer. Oh yeah, I forgot to make this. We want to protect our immortals. He wants, if he, you know, wants to not die, his goal is to kill these immortals. As a Zerg player, a Terran player, you know, whatever, right? The gateway units are not what you want to be fighting first. You always want to fight the non-gateway units first. Void Rays, carriers, immortals, EVZ, Win, Red Usat. It's like because it's really easy to kite gateway units. Like gateway units are only really powerful when the prize player has a lot of them. But they're easy to whittle down, the gateway units. What's hard to whittle down is the immortals and stuff. Art Vandalay. We got a free win, so we'll just give him a free win. You know. I don't feel like beating the same guy twice in a row. Mostly it's because I feel guilty beating the same guy twice in a row. I can see why you can only play the broken race. You know, you only have one build and can only blindside people, so shit to play. And you know, you fucking bag trash. He's ignoring me. That's what I get for trying to be nice. You know, try not to take more MMR from him, but he just wants to give me MMR, so we'll just I don't even think he looked at my match history. Because the way he talked to me, like if he would have looked at this match history, he'd be like, yeah, it's a smurf. But maybe he went to the race report and saw this, right? I had to intentionally lose 100 games to get down to Plat 3. So I like free winned 100 times. It took like 2 hours. 2 hours to lose like 3,000 MMR. And it's taking like 12 hours to get it back. More than 12 hours. by like 24 hours of games. Well, we'll find out how long it takes back, because you can add in technically all the timestamps. From the YouTube videos. Now I do, don't always in-sync you, and I talk a little bit at the end of the stream or during the streams, so it's definitely an overestimate. Hopefully my YouTube video doesn't have my voice being too low. I think it's really low when I listen to the videos. But when I turn up my volume, I can hear it. Which is not the same as like a partying stream. But my daughter's sleeping and stuff. I don't want to. Like, gonna have to talk slow. I have to watch out every time I touch my mic. Yeah, if I bump the cord, it'll cut out the volume. I'll have to unplug it, replug it in. So what do we see over here? That looks, not 50% or more, so we're pretty Gucci. When you have three, like that, like this next probe that comes out is usually the one I like to build the pylon with. Right. If you want to have this level optimization, you can. Usually, if this is, getting one marrow patch coming down, it's usually when you want to build that shield battery. I've noticed off of this like really no scout situation. So if you do the lazy scout like I do, where you just go, make sure you're not being cheesed, and come back. I made this a little bit quicker, so maybe this, a little bit too fast, so that it delays my stalker. It's tempting to chrono boost it, but I won't. Speed usually finishes around 3 minutes, I don't get Baneling busted a lot, so I don't know if the Baneling bust timing, what that is. So, and you guys can see, like, like I said, I'm not trying to hide my build at all. Because, I don't believe that I need to. I don't believe these people at the diamond level have mechanics strong enough that I need to hide my build. Right. And hopefully I can demonstrate to you guys that you guys don't need to work too hard. Like, make sure you zone out every overlord and stuff like that. It's like, you're not playing against pro players, and even if these guys are able to scout you, doesn't necessarily, like I said, doesn't necessarily mean they know how to properly react to what you're doing. Oh right, finally got these guys on time. And we'll get an overlord kill because of it. Alright, we'll get this warp prism because I don't have the gas. Bring this guy over here. I'm starting to feel myself play faster, but yeah, we got 2 overlord kills because we made our I make 3 pylons? I felt like I made 3 pylons, but it's like I didn't. All because we made those 2 sentries on time. Kind of send those guys across the map, make our last 2 pylons, do some warp ins here. Maybe we'll attack from this direction. We might have a 3rd base here. It can be difficult to determine if you want to attack from the back into the 3rd base or into the natural. I usually like to attack in 3rd base because then I can at least get like something. If my attack doesn't work, at least maybe I crush the 3rd base. This is a pretty good call by him to just kind of abandon and try to bulk up in the main base. You know, so I'd say since he is obviously not prepared, he is doing the right play. I'm just clearing a little bit of creep before I go in, you know. Because, you know, if my attack doesn't work out, then at least I cleared the creep over here. I'm under no huge amounts of rush because I believe my production is stronger than him. You know, so as long as I keep making army, right? Keep this stuff together. So he is putting his roaches in a pretty good spot. I'm gonna put a little so he can't run away. We just kind of moved around until we could get a good position. Right. Bring some more guys into the fight. Maybe we can bring this over here. Siege it up. Because you should have kept his roaches back here. Bringing his roaches kind of in here is he kind of let me into a really nice spot. Good game, Mr. Onion. Yeah, you know, I don't think you saw the game, but you know, I beat him, and then I gave him a free win. And he thought I was dodging him because I knew he knew I'd lose. Because he thought I knew I would lose, right? He thinks probably like the only reason I'm winning is because I learned this one build. Supposed to say use my standard. But he's thinking, yeah, I only can win if I play people once. Was this a win? This was a win. Excuse me, had a burp. Climbing on up. Only 800 more MMR for Grandmaster. At 20 points a win. A 10. That's 40 more games. 40 more wins, I should say. How did I come here? I was gonna look at... Oh yeah, like, if he looked at my win percentage over here, he'd probably be like, oh yeah, that guy, you know, trash player. But if he looked at my match history, my match history is really the only clue that I'm a Smurf. And I would say, like, technically a Smurf, literally a Smurf, I don't know. I'm definitely not styling on these guys, right? Not doing like these really cool high-level micro tricks, you know, I'm not winning off of two oracles. Not sending adepts to their base. This guy can make a gas, probably. Try my gas pot probe. Maybe not. Maybe he's not the gas probe. This guy's the gas probe. There we go. Oh, we got a little buddy over here. We'll send the scout around. So I want to know if this is just like a macro thing or not. We'll select 5 probes. And I recommend for you guys to go 6 probes. You can do 5 probes when you... Maybe we'll do like the 5 probe response when we're higher level. Then remember, our nexus delayed, so we're going to supply blocks, so we need to make this pylon. Kind of like our 1 base build. And we'll throw 1 guy into gas, just to like slowly trickle that gas so we can get that warp tech. And we just keep making probes, right? You see this, you know, not too bad. That trickle of gas will be also what allows us to get the adept. We see there's no expansion yet, and that's pretty interesting. Is there a gold base on this map? Here? You know, so that could be his plan, is to take that gold. And we're not, you know, we're not building any other stuff because we can't afford it. Yeah. Oh, what the hell. I'll make sure I get this down first. And we're gonna cut probes until we get this guy. Wow. We'll bring 1 probe because he's cheesing us and we got this at a pretty good timing. We're gonna keep cutting probes to be a little bit safer and get this full wall off over here. And we also want to skip that gas and go ahead and get the shield battery as quickly as possible. Keep cutting because we do have the worker advantage. And then we'll go ahead and grab this gas. And then we'll go ahead and grab the stalker. Just to have more units in the early game, but also to... we noticed he didn't have fast gas up here, so we don't have to worry about super fast roaches. You can have all the free scouts he wants, you know. We had pretty much a perfect response. It's a little, it wasn't greedy. Greedy would have been to keep making probes the whole time, but we opted to go for like a safer response. You can probably just send this adept to go kill that probe. It might be a little risky, but we got this. We got the shield battery right here. Just go ahead, just kind of continue our build. So he's taking our gas because, you know, if we're doing a more advanced 1 base all-in, we would need those gases, but usually I only go to three gases anyway, but... Oh, he died. Gonna do some fancy stuff here. I think most players would have probably let it finished. At least that's what I think I usually see whenever I played against similar stuff in the Masters 1 low Grandmaster area, is they always let this thing finish. They don't bother, you know, canceling it and trying to remake it. I'm not saying which one is better or worse, just saying what I see. I'm not really too much of a Zerg player, so I can't comment too much on the advantages and disadvantages. Well, we got 2 sentries, so we can go and attack this guy. 2, 4, 6. I didn't make all 8 gateways yet. Well, he definitely knows it's an all-in, right? But will he be prepared? He's also going to be one overlord less. Typically, at least at my level, killing 1 overlord, even 2 overlords, I've still lost. Like, they've been able to hold the push. So I'm not gonna like toot my horn and say playing that Overlord is good game. But for someone like partying, like with his level optimization, like that one Overlord, you got that, you know, it probably would be just about a good game. You know, from his perspective. Alright, we don't see any. You want to be careful. You don't want this to be too visible, because Ravengers would make you very sad. Oof. Did I ever make charge? No. So... oh man. I only had charge. Hey, good job, man. You played that one pretty well. I did forget charge, was unfortunate. I did also notice that he used an overseer. So going for... that was a pretty good attack from him. Oof. I think we lost. Good game. Yeah, forgetting charge was pretty no good. EBZ loss. Roach Rav or got charge. Oh man, we didn't get the hit save in time. Sir play a lot. Even gods can bleed. Yeah. We got Protoss. Yeah. Good luck, have fun. Have you missed much? I don't know. Probably not. Nothing that you can't go back and watch if you wanted to. I think my first game or second game was like against a Ling Nidus all-in. And I chose to defend it, so turned up the skill just a tiny bit. But hopefully not too much. So you feel free to go check that out if you want to know how to deal with that. But pretty much the deal with the Leonidas is the same as everything else, you know. That I say is anytime you're being cheesed or all in or having like some sort of weird attack, the number one most important thing is to build shield batteries and pylons. More important to throw down the shield batteries and pylons before you even know where the attack is coming from. And that's kind of what we did there. I heard the that's kind of a weird placement. I heard the Nidus Worm scream, and I was like, alright, it's probably in my main. Most of the time it is, right? So I'm gonna put the shield, I'm gonna gamble a little bit and put the shield batteries in my main base. Because, you know, it could have been like out here and being attacked with like queens and stuff or whatever. And you know, I'm willing to take the risk that most of the time it's most of the time it's going to be in my main, right? And that's really, you know, when you're trying to make like those coin flippy choices, always flip to the highest percentage chance, you know. If the highest percentage chance of something happening is A, then that's what you metagame. And if you lose to B, that's fine. That is completely fine to lose to B. Because you lose to B a lot less than you lose to A. And it's a little bit easier to defend this one than it would be to defend the Nidus in my main. That's just a fact, right? You know, so even if I have extra shield batteries in my main and they ain't helping me too much, it's just, you know, it's easier. It's harder to defend this, so that can also be another thing. Like, you can also try to mitigate what's harder to defend. And it's much harder to defend the Nidus in the main than it's the Nidus out here. So it's a couple things. Like, one, this is less popular because it's easier to defend, and the other one is and at the same time, you know, it's less common. Easier to defend and less common. So, like I said, nice thing about any kind of robo-based play is all of your timings are based on the robo. So you have a little bit more forgiveness in your non-robo stuff. Like, our Nexus is just way faster than him. Right? I have no idea what he was doing. He has like a little observer over here. Right? I don't even see Blink, right? I don't even know. I don't even know what he's doing. I have no idea why his Nexus is late. I have no idea why he went Robo first. Oh, we almost forgot charge again. I'll build the secondary pylon over here. Put a pylon back here. We can start going up for those gateways. See this little observer over here? Don't care about it. You can come and see. Come see all the fun that we're planning. We'll just put 2 gateways here. We have 2 gateways here. We'll go make 2 gateways over here. Especially in PvP, I like to spread out my gateways because when they're not all in one spot, it becomes a lot harder for the opponent to intuitively see that you're all inning. Because whenever he like looks at your base, he's gonna only see like, oh, let me see a couple here, you know, it looks all normal. You know, like when all your gateways are in one spot, it's a lot easier to count them, right? When they're all over the place, you know, it's a lot harder to count them. So I'll do a little bit of warp in here. Oh yeah, I need to make these pylons. We're gonna get supply blocked. Forgot my 3. We usually drop those 3 when we move out, right? And we'll just drop our last 2, because right about now is when I wanted to drop those 2 anyway. We're gonna wait until a little bit. You know, we'll make sure we have a healthy army. Make sure he's not guarding this ramp. Maybe I'll take down these rocks here. Let's kind of take a little peek at what we see over here. We see the smallest army in the world. I see some Void Rays, so we'll make a couple Stalkers for that anti-air. His army is itsy bitsy teeny weeny. We'll bring this a tiny bit forward. Make a couple more Stalkers, a couple more. His army's growing faster than his. Oh, he killed my bait. Oh. Time for some vengeance. We can go up here and just click on some Void Rays. One Void Ray down. 2 Void Rays down. Make some more of these guys. His Void Rays were not targeting Stalkers, they're targeting things they do less damage to. 3 Void Rays down. How did I know we had more production than him? It's because he went Robo Void Ray, right? So both units that come out of the Robo and the Void Ray take a long time to make, and they can't be made instantly. You can't warp them in. So all I needed to do was just make sure, just make sure I had enough that when enough anti-air for those Void Rays. And my army supply is always going to get bigger than his. And Void Rays and Immortals don't do a great... Immortals, Void Rays, and Stalkers do not do bonus damage to light armor. So that means he's got a micro, or his stuff is just going to attack Zealots. And that's what they did. And those Zealots did tank a lot. And a Robo start. Did we lost this one, right? Yeah, this was a loss. Oh yeah, okay, PVZ. I was like, didn't I type this one? Okay, we lost to Roach, Rav, Ling, Forgot, Charge. Boom. I was like, didn't I type the disposition for this one? And the answer is yes, but I didn't get a chance to click save in time. Oh, it's our first Masters player. It's Crazy Zerg. But they have 4K MMR. Are they really a Master? I feel like maybe this guy's someone who got promoted early on. He just played like day 1 when the MMR requirements are really low. Got promoted. Maybe he just had a bad day, right? That could be another thing too. Or maybe he had a really good day. It's definitely happened to me before. It happens to a lot of your people who get your first time promotions to Grandmaster. It's like you have a really good day. You know, Grandmaster maybe it's a little bit easier to get into. It's like that 4.7k. You had a nice little win streak. Not, you know. Downside to Grandmasters, you can get demoted. Upside to not Grandmasters, you can't be demoted. So once you got that, once you've earned that Masters moniker, you got it for the whole season. And that's probably one of the easier ways for you to get promoted to the next rank, or a slightly higher rank than you're currently at. Is like when the new season starts, you know, try to use all your best stuff. Try to get that early win rate, because you might be able to sneak into the next league up when the requirements are a little bit lower. I'm not sure if Masters would be lower on day 1, or if it's lower after Grandmaster opens up and everyone gets promoted. I've never had to worry about that, but yeah, one of those 2 time frames is when the requirements to get promoted are the lowest for non-Grandmasters. It's either the first week of the season, or it's gonna be when Grandmaster opens up and everyone else gets promoted. So there's a little bit of advice there for you. Now we take a little look. This is, you know, it's about the size I expect that little blurb to be. It's taking a little gas. Everything looks all hunky-dory, right? You don't technically need to make the shield battery super fast, but we'll do it anyway. It's good consistency. And then I know that I can't make the Stalker right away if I make this, if I do make that Stalker, I have to cut probes. And it's a little bit nicer to have that Stalker come out a little bit quicker. if there was any kind of weird Ling flood, you know, the extra unit faster is better. Like I said, like, you know, Ling speed doesn't finish until like 3 minutes or so. So you don't absolutely, you know, need to plug that wall at the fastest possible moment. You know, a little anti-baneling defense going on over here. Yeah, and it is completely okay to be a one-trick pony, right? Especially in the lower leagues, it's, you know, it's definitely what you should be doing. It's like when you feel really good, really confident, you're able to hit timings, you know, then maybe branch out to something else. He's got Overlord speed. Well, that's 100 he's not going to have for defense. But at the same time, he might be able to react to what we're doing, right? So there's a plus and minus with what he's doing. The plus is that, you know, he'll 100% see what I'm doing and he'll be able to react to it, hopefully, properly. The downside, we'll make just one for now so I can queue up this guy. The downside to what he's doing is he has 100 less. I think it's 100. He has 100 less resources to defend with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I don't even care that he scouts me, right? Don't care. You gotta prove that you can hold my attack with 100 deficit. Yeah, I probably should have made this a little bit quicker, but he knows we're coming too, so he should be holding down that R button. If he's holding down the Z button, he's, you know, he's not gonna have fun. If he holds down that R button, there might be hope for him. We can probably afford a third pylon. This is too many drones typically. Usually you want to make a little bit less drones. Defend. You want to be trying to bile down the warp prism. Like, you should have been trying to bile down this warp prism the whole time. I'm just gonna chill here for a little bit, take out some of these guys. Some free units. Right. Alright. Now we'll make our way downtown. I'm pretty sure we win because I don't think he has enough. I think he made too many drones. I'm just gonna get our wrap around here. These guys are clumped up, so we're doing like insane AoE damage. Yeah, we could have thrown the Guardian Shield on for extra pain and suffering. If you want, you can target down this Roba or this Roach form, because once he can't make roaches anymore, all you can make is Zerglings, and Zerglings kind of need a lot of Zerglings to deal with. The Zealots, you need to be able to surround the Zealots. They have quite a bit of Zealots. So you can see, like, he had the best possible scout. His Overlord was sitting right on top of us. This was a Masters 3 Zerg, right? Even Masters 3 Zergs don't know how to not make too many drones. And gave him every opportunity to prepare for the attack, and he still died. So don't sweat. don't be afraid of the overlords, right? Because just because they know what you're doing doesn't mean that they can stop you. Easy win. Overlord speed. I'm just gonna title it that one. Yeah. So like when I read this one, Overlord speed, I'm like, okay, so this is probably pretty standard Zerg, but he had Overlord speed, you know. Pretty standard Zerg, went Roach Ravager, and I forgot my charge. You guys, you know, you could also make codes like S means standard, say like SZ standards or SP, you know, or ST, so you know, ST, RR, RRZ, you know, stuff like that. Or you can just kind of write out more words. Like I do. Damn. I guess as we move up the ladder, the probability of hitting people who have much higher MMR than us is going to increase. And beating people with much higher MMR will give us more points. So I guess there's that possibility of advancing up the ladder a little bit quicker. Thank you, you too. Void. I think I know this guy. If this is like if he's been Void for a long time. Pretty sure I've seen this guy around. Not necessarily on ladder, but in like the games of people, friends, in like the streams of lower level players, you know, like against Dave Testa or Backspace. Oh yeah, usually I recommend scouting after Pylon, but you know, I forgot. So we'll scout after Gateway. We'll send him here. That Chrono. So practice, look at the minimap, make a gas, make a probe, look at the minimap, this guy came in. Anytime they come in like this fast, just go ahead and get on this really fast and attack him. Right? He's trying to mess us up. And this is one reason. What the hell? This is one reason to I don't believe you, sir. I don't believe this is a cannon rush. It finished, so if he's gonna finish it, it's worth putting one probe on each side. So, oh, we got some cannons down here. Dang, it is a cannon rush. So I guess we'll chrono boost this out. Dang, I got bamboozled. It's gonna be a little bit of a hard one to defend. We might probably have lost, huh? We're gonna have to kill this probe. Oh man. Not looking good for us, huh? Was able to keep that alive. Michael again. Too busy daydreaming. Too busy narrating. EP. Loss. Cannon. Cannon rush. That's a happy loss, you know. The loss percentages are starting to go up a little bit. But that cannon rush, completely holdable. No need for anyone to get bent out of shape. It's like, first time we've been cannon rushed in quite a bit. Like we add up all the games we've been cannon rushed. I think it's been like 3 times out of like the 60 games that I've played. Hmm. Give him some accolades, We need to spread a little bit more. Yeah. Oops, I accidentally got. Ah, man. I'm just not paying attention. There we go. So we did see an early probe, so it could be a fake cannon rush. We don't want to get too bent out of shape if it is. We see gateway. So, we're pretty safe. Looks like everything's looking pretty normal for him. And one of the things that kind of allows us to not need to not have to scout so aggressively is because we do open up Robo. And opening up Robo does give us access to observers, right? Because that's really probably the scariest thing about like not scouting or like leaving the scout so early is like at the higher levels, like it's so tempting to just go Twilight, DT. So I'm gonna chase him until we get here, and we'll drop this old pylon. Give him a little kiss. We'll attack this pylon. I doubt, I'm pretty confident he's gonna cancel that one. Such a weird spot to put it. But just in case he doesn't, we want to get every little bit of damage on it. Like I said, as long as you keep producing probes, yeah, it's not too big of a deal. You always want to click on one of these guys, get these guys dead as quick as possible. Oops. Good job. He deserves the kills. Anytime you see a depths, that's 100% you want to get these probes down as soon as possible. I mean the shield battery. Because as you get up the ladder, you'll find out that adepts 100%, not 100%, but like 90% of the time are going to be a Stargate opener. And they want to do like a little bit of this warp in here, so we're less susceptible against any kind of early attack. And we'll go ahead and grab our Twilight Council. Now we're just kind of waiting for probes. We can take a good look. We see Twilight Council, we see Robo just now finishing. We see 4 Stalkers, right? Let me go back. But there's nothing else for us to build besides, it was a nice gap in our build for scouting. Go ahead and build a couple of these guys. I can't build anything else right now because I built these guys, so we'll just go ahead and get this observer. Maybe this observer can, a little bit hurting on minerals because of that adept attack. So we're just gonna build what we can. And we always get an observer. Now we don't need to send the observer across the map because we pretty much know exactly what he's doing. Right? Like, he's gonna get blink, he's gonna make, you know, an observer, maybe a warp prism, maybe mortals over here. Right? There's nothing really, it's not like he's gonna immediately go in like stargates or something. Additionally, even if he was, you know, it's not like we're changing our build, so there's nothing critical that we need to scout, you know. We saw his observer by happenstance. You know, maybe we can bring a couple stalkers to go look for it. No, this is a little scary and a little risky because, you know, you could have a bunch of blink stalkers out there waiting in the weeds. 1, 2. They'll put a backup one here. Send the guy over there. Did I ever make this? I didn't make this. Alright, well, we'll make it now. Do that little bit of chrono boost. I probably do want to bolster my army a tiny bit before moving out anyway, so. And we can always move out while this guy trails behind us as well. The last two of these dudes. Alright, yeah, we're about ready to move out. We got plenty of production. Got this. He's coming over here. You know, we'll cash him outside. How about that? He killed our. He target fired and killed our. This guy. So we'll make another one. Keep chasing him. Chase him home. Alright. We do have a fairly scary army. He almost was able to one-shot a guy. I'm not too much of a rush. You know, I'm pretty sure I have more gateways than him, so my army's gonna keep getting bigger. And these immortals kind of eat stalkers alive. You know? Especially when we have the whatever it's called, Guardian Shield. We got one guy up here. He's over here microing pretty good. Good game. Oh yeah, my MMR is not that high. I thought I was at 401, but maybe not. What is the MMR? Masters. Masters 3, 4240. Alright. PvP win. Standard blink. So his build order was in the right idea of higher level PvP. It's kind of similar to what I would do, you know, or my style. I usually go kind of faster Twilight to get faster blink. Then I go for the Robo. Sometimes I'll get Forge, and then I'll just do like a 2-base blink all in. Answer's not far now. Really, no matter what build you're doing, you kind of need sentries. Just because that scouting information is just so important. You know? Because especially if you're going to, if you're going to do like a standard, like, you know, 2 gateway expand or a 4 gateway expand, it is really important to know if your opponent is being super greedy so you can punish them, or your opponent is 2-base all-in you, right? Because if you drop that Nexus down, and I'm making like 8 gateways coming across the map, you're gonna want to make more gateways, you know. It's pretty important to know what the opponent is planning to do. And it can also give you a bit of like comfort, right? Knowing that, oh, okay, I got a faster expansion, and, right, not only do I have a faster expansion, he ain't 2-base all enemy, so basically I got this game in the bag. At least for me, like, if I don't have the ability to scout the opponent, I'm just incredibly scared. Okay, I've made this a little bit too fast. So I have 2 choices. I can either cut a probe to make the Cyber Core faster, or not. So this means I need to play a little bit more defensive since I didn't cut for it. Because, like, if he chronos his Cyber Core, he's going to be able to put pressure on me pretty quick. So if you do have a late Cyber Core, I'd recommend like maybe using like this probe or another probe. You want to see if he's got like a proxy pylon somewhere on the map, you know. I like try to be scouting around. Another thing you can do is, if you want, you can drop 1 chrono on this screen to kind of make up for that time. We do lose a chrono, but this will realign our warp gate to be kind of in line with his, maybe a tiny faster. But if he chronos his, you know, we're not as far behind. We're at 20 here, you know, so we can cut. We'll keep our stalkers on the ramp, so that way if adepts do come in, right, we can get here a bit quicker. I'll go ahead and drop the shield battery right away. We can come here and block. Just make sure you try and kill one as fast as possible. Right, pop. And then always make sure you're 16 on 16 on minerals, right? Because minerals is macro, and then you can fill up your gas. We'll go ahead and give this one a little bit of a scout. And especially when you're doing this build order with charge lots, like, you know, it is the utmost important to have minerals, because charge lots don't cost gas. You know, what do we see going on here? This Twilight Council looks like it's more on time. You know, so this build order looks a little bit better from our opponent. It could be the case that he could be massing adepts. Looks like it's not, because he's got 4 stalkers. So he could potentially be aiming to bait us out of position. Like have some stalkers here, sneak in the adepts. That'd be a pretty high level strategy. I can't afford an immortal, so I'll go ahead and make the observer. So what I'm gonna do, because he might sneak into adepts, I'm gonna make 2 adepts. I'm gonna put them right here. And just a little bit safer. We got this guy. We'll go ahead and make this. He's got 4 adepts. That's fine. We're pretty much predicting everything. Get this little bit of a photon overcharge. You can click on this. He did get the adept upgrade. That's fine. Just go ahead and grab some more gateways. We'll take guys off of gas because zealots, gateways, they don't cost gas, you know. I'm fine with making less less archons. Did I get charged? No. We'll get that charged and we'll have to trap some chronos into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When you play enough games, you know, you'll get fooled and tricked by these things a lot. And then eventually, like, you'll kind of get to the same spot that I'm at where you just kind of see like, oh, he made 2 adepts. I pretty much know exactly what he's thinking. I know exactly what he's going to try to do. He may even try to sneak in some adepts when I move out. So, you know, you can always leave these guys at home, but, you know, I don't care. I'm not too worried. Hit that with the chrono boost. We do need to wait for charge before we can attack. And that should buy us time to warp in the, maybe buy us time to warp in. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna be a little bit careful with this. Take a little peek, see what we're dealing with up here. What do we got? Got a pretty good army. He's got some disruptors here. Ooh, I'm pretty excited to see what he can do with this. Oh well, he looks like he's the one that got baited. Yeah, we're able to lure him out of position. I can just probably go and take this. That pylon. Yeah. The disruptor somehow died without shooting. Warp in more stuff. Everything. This guy slowly killing stuff. We got disruptors are not very good against zealots. We just click on that guy. 1, 2, 1, 2. One attack. Maybe the zealot. Go get him. Go get him. Come on. Oh, okay. I was hoping to get him in time. This guy up. Oh damn. These disruptors are really paying for themselves. Okay. This Void guy seems decent. I think this Void guy's been around for a while. If he's the same Void guy I'm thinking of, he's been in here for... He's been in Diamond or Masters 3 for... ever. 1 career finish, you know, so maybe not. Maybe he's not the guy I'm thinking of. Unless he's been diamond forever. Let's take a look. Career summary. Wings of Liberty. Heart of the Swarm. Looks like he didn't play any Heart of the Swarm. 1v1s. Yeah, maybe he's not the Void I'm thinking of. Might be a different one. Or maybe I've. So this was PvP, Adepts, Ruptor, Macro. To be fair, Estos Hots wasn't a fun expansion. I had a lot of fun in Heart of the Swarm. Like, it was a bit of a struggle, but eventually I got really good at mass blink stalkers against swarm hosts. And once you get like enough, once you get enough blink stalkers and your blink micro is pretty good, you can survive the swarm hosts, and then you can get forward on top of them. And that's kind of how I was dealing with it. I wish I could remember more of Heart of the Swarm. I can't. So I don't remember how difficult it was for me. I know I was Masters 1, and most of the biggest reason I was never really Grandmaster in Heart of the Swarm is because I didn't cheese, right? If I did cheese, I guarantee I would have got promoted off of just never cheesing. I was really close to Grandmaster, but I was always just a little bit shy of getting it. That looks like a Terran opener. It is Terran. You might ask yourself, how do you know it's Terran? Because Protoss doesn't build a pylon next to a gateway like this. So, for all you guys wondering, at higher levels I would cancel this, but we're fine. We don't need to cancel it. I should probably send him here. We can go ahead and make this. See, our Nexus we could have got down already, but no big deal. It's definitely not as big a deal as a lot of people make it out to be. Especially at this level, right? This Nexus being late isn't the reason you're losing Diamond 1, Diamond 2, Diamond 3, Diamond... whatever league you're in. This gas delayed this pylon, delayed that Nexus, caused me to be supply blocked, There's huge ramifications, there could have been a Reaper in my base right now, causing all sorts of havoc. He could have been killing probes, but wanted to attack some buildings. So he only gets one probe kill for his troubles. If his Reaper was on time and came straight across the map, we got at least two or three probe kills. If I was playing against Masters 1 or Grandmaster, we 100% would. So we see Reaper, so we see more than one Reaper. So what we want to do, and he's going for these shield batteries. So we want to get this up pretty quick and want to get a shield battery in the main. And I think I'm going to go for a third stalker. I think it is 4 stalkers one shot a Reaper. We can always cancel him, so I'm not going to chrono boost him. But I think it's 4 stalkers one shot a Reaper. Just in case it may actually be Mass Reaper. technically look like Mass Reaper. But hard to say. We still don't know if it's a one base, right? I'll let this guy finish. We want to build a secondary support pylon and get this immortal out pretty quick. We can rule out Mass Reaper now. It does see this, so. Now the nice thing about this build, unintentionally nice about this build, is that it's non-meta. So a lot of Terrans are gonna look at this Twilight and they're gonna think Blink. They're not, at least for now, they're not gonna think Charge. That's a nice advantage for us. That with the chrono boost to be a little bit safer. So he could be marching away. He could be marching his little butt across the map with his very late 2-base attack. If it was 1 base, he'd be attacking by now. So we know it's not a 1 base. We made too many probes, so we'll go ahead and make this gas. We'll make our 3 pylons because we want to move out. So make 3 pylons right as we're moving out. We're gonna leave this guy kind of at home because he might try to run those Reapers in while we move out. Oh, I guess we don't need to worry about that anymore. Still has 1 Reaper on the map, but it's not going to do much against the shield battery in the main. Alright, I'm just kind of moving out. Where's this ramp? We made the 3 pylons, so now we need to make the 2 or 3 pylons. We have a healthy amount of supply, so we don't need all 3. Warp in this Archon here. Make sure our army is all in some good ordering. Archon's ready. Hit the Guardian Shield. We'll come on down. We don't even need the force field. I don't even know where his army is. Oh, his army is over here, and it's super small. We'll bring the War Prism a tiny bit closer. Maybe we'll try this, but not hopefully lose everything. He doesn't have really any army, so. I quit during Hearts purely because of how boring some of those games were to me. Yeah. I never quit because of units. Like, whenever I quit StarCraft, it was always because of college. I can't play during college, or I'd fail. It's always because of like other reasons. I don't think I've ever quit StarCraft due to a lack of fun. Just more due to like the lack of time. EBT win. What? I don't know what he was doing. So we said it was like 4240, right? So if I average 24 points a win over 10 games, that would do it. No, I do less, right? I need like 200, so 20 points a win. Alright, maybe we'll go to 4100, then we'll call it quits for the night. A lot of Masters 3 players. A Master 3 players with a lot of time and 1 MMRs. Don't let the borders fool you. I wonder if a lot of these guys get accused of being smurfs. It's like, well, you got the Master's Border. Oh, you got 4K MMR. You must be a smurf. You must be sandbagging. So far, there hasn't been a Masters 3 player that we've fought that feels any better than any of the Diamond players that we have fought. So, none of the people that we played against, in my opinion, are sandbagging. And if they actually are, they're not sandbagging by much. This guy somewhere. I see an SCV on the map. Fix that rally. Go ahead and make this, I guess I made it on the wrong side. Okay. I was thinking the ramp was over here. That's fine, we got kind of a wall off. Go ahead and make this Nexus. So, feel free to copy the build order from any of the stream VODs. You know, you can write it down. I don't typically do build orders from memory. You know, like on my head saying like 5 minutes, 1 minute. Most of my build orders I do from feeling, and I try to optimize between games. Yeah, so you might see some slight variation. Sometimes I do them really well, sometimes I don't. I don't think he did any hull damage to that, so I don't know what the point of all that ruckus. Really want to throw that grenade. Just make this Robo. Make this Twilight. Oh. I'm always checking my probes before I throw down buildings, making sure that I'm not cutting probes to throw these down, unless I'm cutting probes for a reason. You know, if my build order has cutting probes as part of it, then I make sure I'm cutting the probes, right? I'm looking more up here to make sure I'm using my supply as an indication of when I should be cutting. But if I'm not using my supply, if I'm not looking up here, say like I cut at 37, then I'm looking at these, you know, making sure I have enough enough probe production, right? I'm always going, if you look at like how I'm navigating, I always kind of go towards, I do something and then I go towards my Nexus, right? And I'm seeing like making sure there's little white dots here. I do something, I go towards my Nexus, right? That's something you kind of want to start paying attention to or noticing when, like when I'm playing, when other people are playing. It's like we build some of these, and then I could stay on the probe. Oh damn, this is quite the attack here. Is this that legendary attack that I've always heard about? I think it's the first time I've experienced this all in, even at the Grandmaster, because I kind of stopped playing around the Cyclone stuff. I play a little bit against like the Cyclone meta, but so this definitely delays our attack, but at the same time, this defense, you know, probably be hurting. I don't know how much of a commitment making all those units are, but I know those Cyclones tell me that he definitely doesn't have tanks. Right? Any things he may have are pretty late. Oh, we didn't die. You know, we ran our one stalker up. Ran that little dude. Kills. I want to remake my 2 sentries. Yeah, I got this a little bit quicker, but I guess I'll make 1 sentry. I can't really afford 2. Everything's looking gooch. Good thing he's not a Masters player, because he would probably still be trying to be aggressive. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even have 8 gateways yet. Damn. I thought I had 8 gateways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's alright. It's alright. We have the technology. Alright, boom. So we'll head over. Where's the safe spot? This side or this side? Maybe this side? Because he probably expands here, so we can probably just attack his natural. Oh, he sees us coming. Charge slots, I think, do pretty good against cyclones. I wonder if it's a mech opener. That I don't know. But we'll go and find out. Actually, I want to send the observer in before I commit too hard. You see nothing here. He may have lifted and ran away. It does look like a weird kind of mech bobble. And his units are not in a great spot. Not in a great spot at all. We're gonna send this Archon in first. Oh, this is a perfect. He's not even paying attention. Yeah, look at all that. Just eat it. We'll bring the stuff a little bit more forward. A little bit more forward. This is like the perfect anti-mech army. Chargelat Archon Immortal. Alright, one last game. The 4100. Then ending tonight at 4100 should pretty much guarantee Masters 3 tomorrow. Cyclone. I feel like maybe fast Cyclone. This is a win. I feel like you should have tried harder to get more damage with the Cyclones. Yeah. But I feel like someone in the Masters 1 Grandmaster League probably would have tried to chase my Stalker up the ramp and try to go into my base and just try to win that way. I'm not saying it was definitely not a bad idea to go into my natural and just kill a bunch of probes and run away. Like, technically that is a really good idea. If you are like of equivalent skill and you do that much damage to somebody, this game ending, you know. But the problem is like that equivalent skill argument only really works at the higher levels. That's what, like, the lower the ranks are, like the less polished your build order is, the less polished your timings and your control are, the more opportunities you give your opponent to stabilize, get back in the game. You know, it doesn't matter if you have 1,000 more minerals than the opponent if you can't spend those minerals, right? If you're floating tons of money, you know, you can have like 1,000 minerals of advantage over me, but we have the same army supply, right? Or I might have a better army quality. And it doesn't matter how much money you have if you can't spend it. And it doesn't matter what army, and it kind of doesn't matter what army you have if it's a lower quality than the opponent's army. It's like you can have infinite Marines, but I got 4 Colossus. I'm gonna kill all of the Marines pretty easily. Or if I had 2 Heartless Horn Colossi, you know. I might be able to finish off the playlist this weekend. Because I can probably do a couple extra long streams. Because 4.4K, is he 4.4K? I wasn't even paying attention. But yeah, 4.4K, that's gonna be a lot of points. We got like 27 from the last guy. So climbing up the ladder is gonna be a little bit easier if we keep getting outmatched. Okay, well, this is a proxy gate, or proxy racks with this going on. So maybe it's Marauders. So we'll just kind of do like a more easier defense, or just do like a 2-gate opener. Right, just not gonna worry about it too much. He's on 1 base, I'm on 1 base. I'm gonna get this Zealot going on. Let's go ahead and grab this. Now we can go and take a look where he might be proxying. We got like, yeah, it's just, you know, Unrax Marauder. We'll send him down here to see when he expands. Make a couple stalkers. We have 2 chrono boosts, so we'll just go like this. And just keep making probes. That's kind of the most important thing. Is keep making pylons, keep making probes. We see the expansion, right? You let that probe die. Just maybe, and this is a little risky. We'll lead with the Zealot, but we only saw 1 barrack, so he's definitely not committing. Right. Boom. I got this. And he should have lifted this, but he's not, so now he is. He loses 1 production, you know. And we're still just making our probes. Making our way downtown. Unfortunately, it wasn't a real cheese, so I can't show you the best possible response, but you know. One thing I would say, like if you did confirm more than 1 barracks, you want to build at least 1, maybe 2 shield batteries at the top of the ramp. Maybe go for this robo or something like that, something along those lines. And then you want to be thinking of, okay, like he is going to get the faster CC. So maybe I'll do like some Warp Prism harass, right? I'll let up 4 adepts and a Warp Prism and try to kill some SCVs or something like that, right? %, this guy is gonna accuse me of smurfing, but if you choose to defend with Stargate, you want to make like a Void Ray or something. Like maybe make 1 Void Ray and then make some Oracles to do a harassment. You can try defending with Oracles, which will be a little bit better. technically. There's definitely a bit of a bigger weakness with oracles in that they run out of energy versus marauders. But if you're able to build up, you know, 2, 3 oracles, um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll make this. But yeah, if you're able to build up, you know, enough oracles, you can potentially get counter damage across the map or force him to make turrets. Which, you know, if he's making turrets earlier, that means he's a little bit later on making barracks, right? Maybe he's got to cut some SEVs or his expansions are slower. So even if you don't get a lot of damage done from the oracles, as long as you forced out, you know, enough of a response, and you can always check in. Don't like suicide. I mean, you can kill 1 or 2 SEVs here or there. You can drop stasis wards, you know. Maybe here is a good spot to attack. Well, we got, you know. And we're getting killed by Widow Mines, you know. Let's see if he's gonna get killed by. So we take guys off gas to make sure we have plenty of click on the tank. Click on the supply depot. So that way you can't raise it against us. We're gonna lose these immortals, which is unfortunate. We just target firing them, which is pretty good. Hopefully the micro here wasn't too much. Now, one thing that's really nice, and like how I'm teaching you guys this build order, is like making those 3 pylons when you move out. You know, once you get to your location, you do a good warp in, you make 2 or 3 more pylons at home, and then you begin to attack. What's nice about that is while you're attacking, hopefully they're killing units, but you have such a large supply that you shouldn't be getting supply blocked. Like, while we're attacking, and we don't ever have to really worry about making more pylons unless he isn't able to kill stuff, right? So we don't have to be worried about getting supply blocked while we're attacking. We just worry about, you know, we go warp in, we go maybe move our army around a little bit, we go warp in, we move our army around a little bit. Still 100, you know, we beat a Masters 2 Terran with 100 APM, right? 15-time Masters 2 Terran. Hopefully that game looked really easy, right? Like we didn't try to defend the Widow Mine drop. He blew up tons of probes, you know. We can take a look at how much probes he blew up. We had about, what, 36 here? Then we had 25, 26. You know, he killed 20 probes. Or no, 10 probes. Alright, we lost 10 probes. So we just took our gas probes, we put everybody on minerals, and we just warped in a bunch of zealots, and we go in and killed them. Right? We still killed them. And that's kind of one of the nicer things about like the 2 base all-ins is, if you're like trying, like if you're having trouble doing macro play, like, man, you know, if you're having trouble defending Widow Mines, right? Like, man, I just get smoked by every single Terran because I can't just, like, my multitasking is not there to defend Widow Mines and stuff. You know, this kind of 2 base all-in that I'm teaching you guys. we don't care about gas, you know? It's like Mitamines come in, they blow up half your mineral line, just throw everybody onto minerals, warp in zealots, and go and try and kill them. I don't have to worry about not having enough SCVs or being behind in workers because I'm not trying to play a 20-minute game. I'm not trying to go up 3 bases if I don't have to. And if you can't kill them with your 2 base all in, you probably hopefully killed some workers, right? You probably have killed at least as many workers as he's killed of yours or more. You might get lucky and take out a base. So then when you do go back to expand, you're expanding from a point where you're either even or ahead. And if they do somehow manage to kill all your probes and defend, well, good job, man. You deserve the win. And he could have held it. He did deserve the win. But just because somebody can hold it at least once doesn't mean that same person can hold it every single time. Doesn't mean that same person can get the same amount of Widowmine kills. Someday, as you keep playing, keep trying to force yourself like the Widowmine or the mini map, try to memorize what time those come in. Eventually, you're not going to take that damage from the Widowmines, and you're still going to hit them, but you're probably going to hit them with a bigger, stronger, more powerful army. Or, if you can defend the Widowmine drops every time, maybe you can play like that 3rd base macro play and stuff like that. Right? It's always good to have 2 base all-ins under your belt, and then throw 3 base all-ins into your belt, throw 4 base all-ins into your belt, right? You should always add, after you feel comfortable and you've mastered, 2 base all-ins or something, a small build order, a short game plan, you add on a little bit more. Like, okay, I feel amazing. Like, I feel really confident in my 2 base all-in. I think I'm hitting all my timings. Captain Newbie or whoever looked at my replay and said, like, yeah, I think you're hitting all the good timings. You don't look like you can supply block. That Robo's on time. Your Twilight's on time. Your attack, you're hitting at a pretty good timing, right? You're like, okay, I feel good. Now, then it's the time to practice the 3 base all-ins, right? If the only thing that you have to work on is like your unit control and game sense, okay, sure, you could branch to a different build order. Just and maybe that would probably be what I would recommend. Like, if you are doing a build order really well and your timings are perfect, but you're just having like control issues or game sense issues, or maybe people are metagaming you and you're still just not able to win too much with it, go ahead and learn another build order. Learning, after you've mastered one build order, when you go to master another build order with different units, that will still help you learn unit control, and it'll still help you learn game sense, right? But you shouldn't move on to a new build order until you technically have mastered one. And then you should always go back to your previous build order. So like, if let's say I'm running a Stargate build order next after this Robo one, and you should still do like, every couple games do like one of your Robo 2 base all in, right? So you stay practice, you stay fresh with that strategy. Don't just completely abandon your old strategy that you've been practicing forever just to practice this new one. Do like the new one a couple times, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, whatever, and then give your old one some love, mix it in there. Just keep that fresh, keep those timings in there. Alright, so that's the last game, starting to match a lot better players, right? Like this guy too, he was probably 4.2 MMR. So might actually get out of diamond a lot faster. That last guy was basically 2 wins worth of points, so yeah, not too bad. 84 wins, 14 losses, and each one of these losses, the opponent deserved the win, right? When you look at your losses, you need to say to yourself, these guys, they deserve the win. even if they cheese you or all in you or did some bullshit, right? They deserve, if they beat you, they deserve to win. If you beat them, you deserve to win. And if you're struggling against what they're doing, you know, like if someone's doing like a one base only with Terran or Protoss or Zerg or something, and you're just always listening to it, that's your fault. You know, you should message those people. You can say, hey, you know, can you help me practice against it? You want to do some customs? Yeah, you know, do you have some advice? Can we talk about the games? Can we watch replays together? Like, how do other people tend to hold this build? If people are beating you with a certain strategy, whether it be cheese, all in, if it's muta play, whatever it may be, you should ask those people who practice with you. They should be your practice partners. Do some custom games, do some dedicated practice, try to figure out how to beat it. Ask them for advice. Even if they say no, not everyone is going to say no. Okay, someone's going to say yes, and that person's going to help you overcome that weakness. Right? Because like if you're not out there trying to make friends with people who are kicking your ass, you have only yourself to blame for losing. Right? So, and the best people who make practice partners are people who can beat you. Right? So, that's the advice we have tonight. Tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, unless I feel too tired. But we should definitely get promoted to Masters 3 tomorrow. And then maybe it'll be a couple days. Maybe I can do Masters 3 tomorrow. If I feel like staying up late enough, maybe I could do a 4-hour stream and get Masters 2 Saturday. I don't think I'll be able to stay up late enough on Sunday because I work Monday. Masters 2 this weekend, and it'll be Masters 1 next week, and then maybe Grandmaster. Oh damn, Grandmaster MMR has technically maybe it's dropped 4778. Man, that's so easy to get. 4778. Damn. Like I said, remember, this is not Grandmaster MMR right here. Ghost Reaper, Protoss. Isn't he better than this? Like, Ghost Reaper, he's like a 5k Protoss player. Like, when you ever see these guys, 100% every time, we can go and look at their match history and we're going to see a whole bunch of losses. Right? He's called Mission Zone Count. And we got a loss streak here with 1 win, 1 win, 1 loss, you know. So this was probably the loss streak. You know, he probably barely had enough MMR to get Grandmaster. He probably got promoted at like 4.8k, and then just lost 100 MMR right here. So anytime, you know, it never fails. Like real Grandmaster MMR minimum is always going to be the bottom of contender. So. Alright guys, you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I hope these videos are helping you guys. Hope like I'm hopefully it's not too boring watching me do the exact same build single time. But I think it's important that you guys see, you know, that the build works at all levels, right? I'm not changing the build, you know, I'm not getting lucky because, you know, I'm mixing and matching around here. I'm doing the exact same build. You guys can see how the how like if you watch how the build order looked when I was doing it in platinum versus now, you over the course of the videos you should be able to see like the build order become more polished. My buildings are more on time, right? My attack timing's a bit quicker, except for like some of the games where I kind of mess some things up. You'll see how, you know, I can react, how you should react to certain types of cheeses, you know, how to get back onto your build order, your game plan. Just because someone cheesy you doesn't mean you can't continue your game plan. eventually at higher levels, like when we get to Masters 1, Grandmaster, and it could be the case that we might have to abandon our attack, right? We might still be able to do the build order. We might not be able to attack the opponent, right? But at these levels, at anything less than Masters 1, Grandmaster, who cares? Just go out and attack him. Like, your goal is to get the game sense you want. You want to know 100% what your build does not win against. You want to know 100% who gets lucky or what. So, before you abandon anything or change anything, do anything different with your build order, you should lose at least 5 times against the exact same thing. And then collect those replays and watch those replays and confirm to yourself, like, make sure you can answer the question. There is nothing better that I could have done, right? And if this is the case, there's nothing better that you can have done, then you can think of like, okay, well, if this is what beats me, how can I scout it? When can I scout it? When should I scout it? What about it can I scout? You know, what is the telltale signs that I can see for me to abandon my build order as early as possible, right? And it could be the fact that maybe against Zerg, you know, it's not that clear. And so you just, you know, you go, and then what you're looking for is like, okay, well, I can't really abandon it. So I get all my stuff, I get my army, I walk across the map, and then it's like, well, if I see at least X amount of roaches and X amount of Ravengers or something, and X amount of queens, if I see like this size of an army, I will not attack. I'll just go home and expand, right? And then you can watch those replays, wins or losses. You can see like, okay, like, and you'll notice like for those people, for them to be that ready for you, they had to cut drones. Like, oh, you know, I'm not behind in workers, right? I'm only a little bit behind in workers. And you have that war prism, right? So maybe you can like pick up some zealots or pick up some mortals, go back home with your main army, and then try to harass, you know, like think of other ways that you can utilize your army. Like, you know, you can't just win by attacking them anymore, but maybe you can put the fear of God into them and force them to cut drones to prepare for you, force them to make an army of roaches and ravengers. If you force them to make an army of roaches and ravengers, guess what they're not making? They're not making mutas, right? Because, you know, you forced them to not make mutas. You made them so scared that they took, you know, even if they wanted to go mutas, their gases are later, right? So they have less gas for it. And then you force them to put money or put gas into roaches. You may even force them to put gas into ravengers, right? So they're, you know, definitely not putting that spire down. And then, you know, you got some sentries you can scout, so that either will cancel in their mind mutas, right? So they won't go mutas, or it'll give you more time to be able to defend and scout mutas, right? So that's like another advantage to doing like a 2 base all in, but not committing to the all in and just expanding. It's like the build still gives you options to harass. You know, the build can force your opponent to not use a strategy that you're weak against. Like if you don't like playing against mutas, 2 base all-ins are great. 2 base all-ins will kill anyone going for mutas straight up. Like, I don't think there's a single 2 base all-in besides mass probes that won't beat someone that's going for fast mutas. So, you know, any Zerg that knows how to play the game is going to abandon mutas for roaches. Now, they might go back into mutas, right? But not every Zerg will go back into mutas. Some Zerg will just stay on roaches and go into hydras or something, you know. Yeah, so sometimes, you know, you can scare the opponent into not doing the strategies that you're scared of. So, but anyway, yeah, okay, you guys have a great night.